guys, it's Nicole at Speedy Puzzle Vibes, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about caffeine pills. So, about a couple months ago, I took a caffeine pill because I was falling asleep at the wheel, and so I thought to myself, I'm going to take this because I don't want to die. So I did that, and I noticed that I had a really big improvement in my work that day. I was able to focus, and I was able to get through my work a whole lot faster than I typically do. So, and then I saw Victor's, I believe it was an Instagram post where Hannah at the European Jigsaw Puzzle Championships was talking about, or I guess they had talked about taking caffeine pills. And it all kind of clicked at that point, and I said, well, maybe it would help me get faster at my speed puzzling. And at this point, I really could use all the help I can get, and I was just kind of curious, like how it would actually impact my performance. So if you look at caffeine, it has consistently been shown to improve exercise performance when you take about 3 to 6 milligrams per kilogram of body mass. So if, for example, and you need to take it about 30 to 60 minutes before you actually do any sort of performance. So if you take my weight, which is roughly 83 kilograms, but you know, no judgy, por favor. Please don't judge. So at the low end, I would need basically 83 times 3 milligrams per kilogram of body mass, which equals 249 milligrams. So I want to point out that this particular caffeine pill that I probably got off of Amazon, it's a 200 milligram per serving. So each pill has 200 milligrams of caffeine in it. And this particular bottle says, you know, you're not supposed to take more than 2 capsules in any 24-hour period. So I don't feel comfortable taking more than 1 caffeine pill at a time. And so I kind of created this little home exercise in order to figure out if taking caffeine would actually impact me at all. And I'm not going to exceed more than 1 pill at a time. Yeah, and I don't recommend anyone to exceed more than 1 caffeine pill, a 200 milligram caffeine pill at any given time. So one of the things I should also mention up front, at least my sister tells me I should mention this fact, is that I am 99% certain that I have inattentive ADHD. I've never had an official diagnosis of inattentive ADHD, but after having kids and seeing my son, who definitely has inattentive ADHD, I think it's become very clear that we both exhibit the same, I don't know if you call them symptoms, or the same type of things that we do on the daily basis that makes it very clear, at least to me, that yeah, I am probably neurodivergent, even though I've never had an official diagnosis. So the plan for day 1, I'm going to do this barbecue roadhouse puzzle on the upper left-hand corner. And the whole point of it was to use it as my control puzzle to see how long does it normally take me to complete this type of puzzle. I don't typically take caffeine. I don't drink soda, coffee, or tea. So I'm kind of curious how I will do just kind of on my regular baseline self doing this type of puzzle for the very first time. Day 2, I'm going to do the cake and pie puzzle. And this is the first time I'm actually going to do the puzzle, but also take a half of pill, so 100 milligrams of caffeine. And I'm kind of curious to see how I do, see if there's any improvement. Day 3, we're going to do the grilled cheese puzzle. And for this one, I'm actually going to take a full pill, so 200 milligrams of caffeine. And keep in mind that my kind of conservative dose that I should be taking in order to get a true improvement in performance is actually roughly 250 milligrams of caffeine. So this is the first time that I'm actually getting close to that number and trying to see if there's going to be an improvement. And then day 4, I'm going back to doing this crepes puzzle here in the bottom left, and I will not take any caffeine whatsoever. Again, I was just kind of curious to see, starting off no caffeine, increasing my dose over 2 days, and then dropping back down to no caffeine, just to see, like, did I get faster? Did I not get faster? And trying to understand, is it just the fact that I'm doing this puzzle 4 times roughly in a row that I'm getting faster, or is the caffeine really having an impact or not? So let's see. So here is me doing the day one barbecue puzzle. I'm going to speed things up here quite a bit just because we don't want to watch me do this whole puzzle right this moment. But I did want to mention that I chose these Seco puzzles mostly because the images are very similar to each other. So I was really trying to find a group of puzzles that I felt were very, very similar, so that way there wasn't much question as to whether or not is it the caffeine or is it the puzzle image that I am improving on. The other thing I'm really curious about is I actually probably, if I was doing this without caffeine, would probably tend to speed up over time just because I would get used to the puzzle cut, the images. I would, kind of learn what to do. Once I go through the puzzles, know whether or not to do the text first, the animals, the truck, that sort of a thing. So I'd expect myself to improve. Seco puzzles are random cut, and as you can see, I finish my kind of control puzzle in 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 17 seconds. And I kind of want to stress here that the overall finish speed that I actually do this first puzzle is not really as important as the change in speed, or not the change in speed, but the change in finishing time once I start taking my caffeine pills. And I'll try to explain that as I go forward. So here we go, day two. I took 100 milligrams of caffeine, and honestly, I felt fine. I didn't really feel very different doing this puzzle with 100 milligrams of caffeine. I took it about, I think, roughly 45 minutes prior to doing this puzzle, maybe 30 minutes. And I honestly expected to be a little bit faster today just because I had done a puzzle the day prior and I was more familiar with the Seco puzzle cut. It's very random. So just a little bit more used to it and knew what to expect in terms of the overall image. And yeah, so long story short, I end up finishing this puzzle in 1 hour and 7 minutes and 12 seconds, which means that I finished this puzzle 3 minutes faster than I had the day prior. And at this point, it's really hard to know, is that due to the caffeine or is that due to actually just doing a puzzle that was incredibly similar? I'm just going to go straight into day three here. I took 200 milligrams of caffeine, and again, I felt fine. I took the pill about 30 minutes prior to doing this puzzle, and again, the 200 milligrams is the closest I got to the 250 milligrams. That was kind of defined by that 3 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. So I expected myself to do maybe even a little bit faster than day two. And yeah, I was not disappointed. On this particular puzzle, I end up finishing it in, let's see, 1 hour and 5 minutes and 10 seconds. So I am improving. For this particular puzzle, I finished it in about 5 minutes faster than I had the original baseline puzzle, and which ended up being about 2 minutes faster than day two puzzling. Now we're on day four, where I go back to no caffeine. And honestly, this is where things get super interesting to me. So keep in mind, I had day 1 through 3. No, I'm sorry. Day 1, no caffeine. Day 2, caffeine. Day 3, slightly more caffeine. And then day 4, back to no caffeine. And before I even started this puzzle, I felt incredibly sluggish. I didn't realize this, but according to Google, stopping caffeine can lower your athletic performance, especially with habitual users. So people can experience, if they don't take caffeine, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, lower energy levels, at least for a temporary time period. And you can see this in my finish time. I finished in 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 42 seconds, which is about 30 seconds slower than my day one puzzle time. And this lower performance came as a surprise to me. I genuinely felt that even if, I wasn't seeing a caffeine improvement in my end times, that I definitely would be seeing an improvement in time with just the fact that I had done a very similar puzzle 4 times in a row, and I was getting better at the piece cut and figuring out where things go. So this was definitely a surprise that caffeine, essentially, that coming off of caffeine can have such a negative impact on your performance. So how did I do? In order to figure this out, I'm going to do a time improvement calculation of original time minus the new time divided by the original time. And I just want to be clear that the original time was my day one finishing time. And my first step was to convert the time into seconds just so I could have a common measurement to work with. And these are the results. Essentially, day two, I had a 4.39% improvement by taking 100 milligrams of caffeine. Day three, I ended up with a 7.28% improvement with 200 milligrams of caffeine. And then day four, I ended up with a negative 0.59% improvement, which I am at this point attributing it to caffeine withdrawals. I really have no other way to explain why I would actually get worse at a puzzle that I had essentially done 4 days in a row. So, in conclusion, for myself, caffeine really did seem to show a 7.28% improvement in my ability to complete a jigsaw puzzle faster. But I do want to point out that I don't recommend anyone take caffeine pills on a regular basis just to improve your jigsaw speed puzzling performance. I don't think it's probably the best idea to take it regularly. I mean, obviously, if you guys are a regular coffee drinker or regular tea drinker, then by all means, obviously continue doing what it is that you normally do. But I definitely don't recommend just tanking up on these pills to get faster at speed puzzling. So for me personally, I will not be taking these pills, these caffeine pills, for any sort of local event or even my day-to-day practice. But for maybe a bigger competition, it's something I would definitely consider, especially if it's a one-day event where I don't have to take multiple pills day after day in order to maintain this benefit. Yeah. That's all I got for today, guys. So I hope everyone has fun puzzling and speedy puzzle vibes.